It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello, what's happening, everybody? Showtime! You see it. Geno Jones, Showtime, coming to you live. It is Wednesday. Shout out to all of my Working Divas on a Working Divas Wednesday. That's what I call it on my radio show. It is Wednesday, June 10th. Happy birthday to my cousin Rashid Abdullah. Cuz, happy birthday. I called you earlier. I got to call you back. So, Monday through Friday. Normally, you can see the Geno Jones Show live right here on my YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't done it, do it right now. Like, share, subscribe. The show's interactive. If you're watching me live right now, you'll see somewhere on there it says live chat. That means you can talk to me if you got a question. Maybe you one of the Geminis celebrating a birthday. You want us to shout you out. Want me to shout you out. I've got guests coming up. You got a question for them. You got some comments. Or maybe you want to come for me. But if I don't send for you and you try to come for me, I'm going to send your ass back where you came from. And maybe I'll do it with a smile. Maybe not. So that's not going to work out well for you, but good luck. So 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 6:30 Central Time, Chicago, stand up, I see you. Live in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, everybody in California, up and down the West Coast, Seattle and Portland, Oregon, 4:30 in the afternoon. Programming note, we will not be live in my studio, but I will be doing some live updates. As a matter of fact, I'll be recording some things live, so there will be content that you will see. I'll be on the road. I'll be out of the studio. That'll be next week. But I'll get more into that on Friday. All right, June is Black Music Month. Speaking of Black Music Month, big shout out, happy birthday, Faith Evans. Faith Evans, Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace's baby mama. Faith Evans is 53 today, and my man JoJo from Jodeci, Casey and JoJo, the Haley brothers. JoJo is the double nickel, 55 today. And happy 25th birthday to Sasha Obama, the baby girl of Barack and Michelle Obama. Of course, Malia, she's the oldest. Sasha's the baby. Man, the baby 25, y'all getting old. All right, listen. Of course, Game 4, the NBA Finals in New York City, Madison Square Garden. San Antonio Spurs. With Victor Wembanyama with his dirty ass. I told you I don't F with him. And off the court, he maybe seems like a good kid. I digress. I don't want to spend too much time on them. But New York City, the energy, the vibe was just great. And then Orange Hitler showed up, and all of a sudden, oh my God, it wasn't so much a prediction. It may have sounded like one. I just knew it. I'm like, Satan is in the building. It's not going to end well. And what happened? The Knicks hadn't lost a basketball game. They had not lost a basketball game in like 46 days. Monday night, looked like they have never touched a basketball in their life. Couldn't shoot, couldn't do anything. And then Victor Wembanyama is trying to do some gangster stuff. So somebody on New York, somebody need to put the elbow in the ribs. Because if you'd have pushed me in the back of the head like that, they'd have kicked me out because I'd have punched you in your nose. Right in the bridge, I'd have broke your nose. And I don't condone violence, not at all. But the younger me, sometimes you got to get folks up off you. You got to let them know that you just can't treat you any kind of way. So good luck to the New York Knicks. Hopefully you can reverse the curse of Donald Trump. The curse of Donald Trump. Yes, the Knicks have been cursed. Good luck with that. All right, real quick. I didn't get a chance to talk about it a lot yesterday, and I just want to acknowledge. So there's a young man. Now, listen, we had a situation here, a 14-year-old black kid that was murdered 3 years ago. Cyrus Carmack Belton by Asian convenience store owner, Mr. Chow, Rick Chow, and his son, but the daddy was the one accused of murder, even though I believe the son pulled the trigger, Andy, I think is his name. A jury found Mr. Chow, who shot this 14-year-old kid, Cyrus Carmack Belton, shot him in the back as he was running away. They chased this kid 130 feet. Think about that. 130 feet once he got out of the store. The length of a football field. And then some. It's like just see a football field and then the locker room. So basically, from one locker room all the way across the football field to the other end into the other team's locker room. That's how far they chased Cyrus Carmack Belton before they shot him and killed him in the back. They got off with murder. And there's so many layers, so many conversations. I'm working on getting my legal expert, of course, Sean Mitchell. You've seen him on the show and some other folks because there are a lot of layers and a lot of conversations. But once again, anti-blackness, that train is never late. And anti-blackness comes in all forms. Not just white nationalists, white Christian nationalists, not just the races that don't have melanin, folks of quote unquote of color, Asians, even some of the most anti-black people you ever meet got more melanin than me. That's a whole nother conversation. All skin folk ain't kin folk. But we're going to talk about unity, so I want to make a segue here. I'm really excited. So my guest started here with me, ladies and gentlemen. One you're going to recognize. He's part of the Geno Jones Show family. He is part of my family. We have been brothers. God has brought us together, so I got much love for this brother. You'll know him when you see him. And he's come with a guest that I had the honor to meet a couple months ago. So there's a new book called Civil War to Cultivating a Legacy. And here to talk about that and just the bond between Black Americans and our brothers and sisters back on the mother continent, specifically Liberia, because the United States has a very special connection to Liberia because a lot of our ancestors were sent back, or paid to go back to Africa, and they went to what was formed as Liberia. So we'll get into all that conversation. So without any further delay, welcome the CEO of the Crate Group and more, Mr. Kendrick Al Bannister. You recognize that handsome face. You see the upper left-hand corner, and a young, handsome-looking kid right there with the baby face. I had the honor to meet Brother Q. Q, help me. How do you pronounce your last name?
Karmue. The
Karmue.
first name is Karmue.
Okay, I had it. I was going to pronounce it, so I would have had it right, but I don't like messing it up. So, Brother Q, welcome to the show. So, thank you to my brothers. Thank you so much. Brother Bannister, it's been too long. We're glad we got you back on the show. So, I want you to talk about the book, but I'm going to throw it to you, Brother Al, and you can give us a little deeper dive on Brother Q and the bond and the relationship that you guys have.
So I definitely, well, first of all, to your mother out in Chicago, hey, Mom, love you.
Thank you. You knew she was watching, huh? You see her in the chat room. Yeah, you just made her day, man.
So, hey, love. So, no, definitely, thank you for having us. Like always, if it's something hot, I'm going to bring it to you first before we go national, now international. So the Crate Group has now became international, something we were talking about for about a year now. And this relationship that we built with the Karmue family, and I'm gonna let him tell his story. This is something that Black America needs, really all of America needs, but definitely Black America. If we don't know from where we've been, we definitely don't know where we're going at. So that's the concept itself. We're here to talk about a couple things, and again, I'm a yield to Brother Karmue for his expertise, because his story is wow. It's wow. It's true. It's true, and it's hurtful, but there's greatness that comes from it, and I think that I know that we have some great things coming from it. One of the things that the Crate Group was able to do is develop two concepts in Africa right now. One is Grow Global. That's a company that's going to a nonprofit, should I say, that's going to feed the children within the schools. We have 535 schools, and we're feeding all of them. That's one of the things that we're doing with that. And then Rebirth the Nation Global Development Authority, that's a entity of the Crate Group, and it's bringing an ecosystem to Liberia, ship maritime, logistics, aviation, community centers, bringing a whole livelihood to Liberia. So that's my plug. But right now we want to talk about Witness, the book. We want to give a big shout out to the KRJ Company and the Met Equipment Company. These guys published a book. They're two brothers. One's a doctor, Dr. Keith Johnson from the Citadel. He's by way of the Citadel. He's an anesthesiologist. And his brother, Kevin Johnson, who's a lawyer, financial lawyer in D.C. These two brothers financed and published this book for with the Karmue family because the story is just so perfect. It's so perfect we're ready for Netflix now, man. So you're the first that we're gonna get going with it. So it happened here first on the Geno Jones Show. Two other people I want to give a big thank you to would be his two men, two young brothers, two white American brothers, Tyler and Max, from high school. They read this book and they transformed their life. They live in Liberia now under the watchful eye and the direction and the leadership of Q. These are two amazing young men, and I'm wishing them Godspeed. And then, of course, for me, to say thank you to the Karmue family because it's their story. With no more from me, I present to you guys Q Karmue.
Brother Q, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Geno, and Brother Bannister. That was a lot of commendations. I strongly appreciate your not only just your friendship, but your brotherhood in terms of how you have just grabbed the concept of my family and how you've engulfed us into your family. It was a nice time there in Charleston the other day when you laid out the tables and invited some of your friends so that we can commune together. Geno, it's nice to see you again. I've sent a link out to a lot of my friends. I hope they're watching. I want to just piggyback on what Brother Bannister just said and thanking the Johnson brothers who believe in this story before it even get to a paperback such as this. They took the story in terms of just the verbal context of it, came to Liberia, fell in love with my family, and everything we were doing there just became one of our family as well. So along with so many other people, the Bancroft family, Tyler and Max, who then took the concept and said, look, we have to publish this through the school, and a lot of other people who, mom and dad, of course, and my family, who have stood there countlessly to make this work. So I'm excited to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm excited for you to be on the show, Q. So let me start off because I'm glad you held up Witness. And I know that we have some other books. So you guys got a lot to talk about. So we're gonna cover everything. You got as much time as you want because I'm the boss. That folks know. It's like how long they gonna be on? They talk as long until they run out of breath. When they run out of oxygen is when they'll stop talking. They'll decide. But you have an incredible story, Q. So if you don't mind, share your origin story. I had the honor to hear it. You shared it. Brother Bannister invited me. Damaris is still talking about that meeting. Brother Al, she has like, what about, we supposed, some stuff's gonna be sent out, so I ain't gonna talk about that on camera, but she was ready for the follow-up. She doesn't get excited about much. So that's how I knew it was powerful, because she really got excited about the potential to developing bonds and business relationships and just, building community with the brothers and sisters back in Liberia. But Q, if you don't mind, give us your origin story. You had an incredible story, which is really the basis of your book, but it was so powerful, your story that you told us that basically, which in essence caused you to or inspired you to write? Because Witness is really like your autobiography. Am I correct?
Yes, it's certainly the beginning of that autobiography.
So
certainly.
share your origin story, man. Nobody can tell your story better than you.
Well, thank you, Geno. First of all, I want to tell your audience, thank you for tuning in. It's an honor to express this story again on this platform. Whenever I get a chance to speak about what took place at an early age, it becomes therapy to me and also to a lot of other people who don't normally have the chance to talk about their story like this. I was fortunate and blessed, like many families who are in the bowels of Africa, in places where most people don't even know the names of those places, may never know the names of these people. But I was blessed to be somebody who came through the ranking of a lot of trauma. Um, God really blessed my family and I about 20 years ago when we were caught in the middle of a civil war. Now, before I can get into the whole Civil War process here, I just want to tell your audience, everybody who's watching have a witness. They've all been a witness of something in life. Everybody have seen something at different degrees. We have been part of a process where we have to testify what we watched and what came up about our witness. So, in terms of my family, we were growing up in a country that was my green field, my place of harvest, I guess you can say. My father was an innovator when I was growing up. He believed in growing a family business from the grounds up, and got an opportunity to travel to America. My mother and him had grew this business, a pharmaceutical business, enough so that he can finally travel and make connections in the United States with pharmaceutical companies to attract medicines back to Liberia in the early 80s. And little did I know that when he was leaving Liberia, that the war was coming to my country. And my mother was left with five of us to fend for us to leave the country. It was in the middle of that process that my mother had to find a way for us to travel out of Liberia on foot, what would have been 200 miles journey to leave the country. And it was on that journey my witness took place. I was 8 years old. My mother had five of us. My older sister was about 12 years old. My older brother was 10. I was 8. Of course, my little sister was 5. My little brother was 2 years old, with a single mother who had to fend for us. Little did any of us know that the war was coming so quickly. And my father was just taken out of the country by God's grace. He did not know that a war would be coming when he left. And as soon as he got into the United States, the news of war completely broke out in the country and took over the entire country. And my mother had to find a way for us to escape that war. And she took us to Monrovia, where we were taking refuge at a church. And from that church, she realized that a month later of waiting for my father to come back into the country so that we can finally escape together, that he wouldn't be returning because there was no planes coming back to Liberia. And so in the twinkling of an eye, our entire life just changed completely. We watched kids in the church starve to death because there was no food. My mother finally decided, she heard that there was another church about a mile away from my church that had some food, and they were distributing food, and people were going there for food. And when we went to the church, Lutheran church that wasn't too far away, we got to the front of the line, and the minister who was administering the people coming into the church told my mother that if we came from outside to come to this church, we can't get any food. So we started to plead for our life, and she told the gentleman at the front of the line that my family had gone for days and days with no food, and that kids in our church was dying from hunger. And he said to us that you are not the chosen ones. You can't get any food here unless you come and live in the church with us, We can't give you any food. You are not the chosen ones. And my mother said, look, we can't label you in the church. We have a family over at our church who are starving. If we can just get a little bit of food, we'll be able to do a lot of good and give a lot of people hope. And he kept saying, you're not the chosen ones. So we left our church, went back to our church, hungry, of course. The very next day, the president of the country who the rebels were fighting raised war on that church and massacred every single person in the church that very night. So had we gone into that church, we would have been massacred that same night. So indeed, we were not the chosen ones, but over 600 people got killed in that church with machetes that night. That was when my mother decided that Monrovia was no longer safe. The churches were no longer safe, and she was going to take us to war. And she decided that she was going to take us on a 200 miles journey to escape the country in rebel zones and try to leave the country. On that journey, and I'll try to cut this short just so that you can entertain some questions. And I also want people to read the books. I don't want to tell the whole book. But on that journey, as we were leaving Monrovia, we got caught by rebel soldiers halfway through the journey. Imagine we've been walking what seems like a whole day, no food, completely hungry, but the motivation to leave, the adrenaline to stay alive was what kept us alive. My mother would sing to us constantly. Her voice still rings in my ears. And me and my mom was like, I'm like her pocketbook. I was like her best friend growing up. You know, I was so attached to her. At an 8-year-old child, of course, she had my little sister, my little brother, but I felt a lot closer to my mom than all of my siblings. I was like one of those kids that just kept next to mom constantly. So as we were leaving the country, we were caught by rebel soldiers at a checkpoint where they were interrogating us. And they started to ask us about our tribe. They started to ask us about the origin of where we came from. Where is my father? Of course, we couldn't tell the rebels that my dad was in America. That would have been an instant death sentence. Wow. And we had to lie to them. And that was my first time mom telling us the lie. She said, look, don't tell them the truth that your father is in America. Let them know that your father is in Monrovia. We lost him back there and you don't know where he is. And of course, the rebel leader, as he was interrogating us, we weren't good liars. And as we were lying, he caught on to it and said, look, your father is probably part of the government. And that's the reason why you are not telling us where he is. And he ordered us to be executed, took us to a killing field. What? And as we were being hauled out to this killing field, my mother and we all started to cry and plead for our life. The rebel leader turned to my mom and told her that he would do her a favor, that everybody did not have to die, but she should choose who should die between her life and her kids. And as we are watching this in disbelief, my mother was hauled out to a killing field and ordered to be executed by a 14-year-old child in front of us. Of course, she chose to die so that we can live. So I'm going to leave the story right there because if I go any further, you won't read the book. You have to find out.
Listen, you just telling this story, I think would make anybody want to read the book because I know there's more intimate details, but I'll let you stop right there. Oh my God, okay. I guess in real time, what's coming to me is I had one question, but just based off the last thing you said, how? Because I heard you mention something at the beginning. We were talking about how this book was kind of like therapeutic for you. How hard was it to relive this, like over and over, for you to put it on paper, to put it in black and white? So I'll make it a two-part question. And the second part, which really was the first question, who and what was the cause of this civil war? Because these are people from, a civil war, it means people from the same country, they are going to war, killing each other. So who and what was behind that? Why? What was the cause of that war?
That's a very good question. Let me answer the first part of the question. How hard was it for me to relive this and write this story and write this book? It was very difficult. I mean, um, we escaped the Civil War, obviously. We found ourselves in the Ivory Coast, and my father found us in the middle of a refugee camp from the United States. It was like playing the lottery. He literally found us, and from that experience, he was able to bring us to the United States. And life started all over again. Went back to school. I never imagined ever going back to Liberia after the experience I had at 8 years old. Between 8 and 13 years old, my life as a child was defined by the civil crisis that took so much of my innocence. I watched so many people get murdered and so many bloodshed
Okay.
that in my mind, it was only God who was.
I think your Wi-Fi froze up. I'm sure it'll unfreeze. Um, Brother Bannister, Q's got such an incredible, powerful story. You know, the enemy doesn't want him to share his story. But there you go, Q. The Wi-Fi kind of froze up a little bit. So kind of pick up where you left off. You was talking about how from 8 to 13, the trauma, but your dad found you. So we'll just let you pick up where you left off. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Q, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. And you froze up for a little bit, but just you kind of left off just talking about from 8 to 13, and your dad found you, and just all the the death and just inhumanity and murder, how that really affected you and molded you. And then,
Right.
so I guess, so from 8, once you hit 13, the next part of that journey you were going to speak on.
Yes. So between that, between the age of 8 and 13 years old, um, in a way, the war was trying to define me. My country was trying to define me as a young person is who has a future, either in Liberia or wherever, right? Because that was the time of a lot of bloodshed. That was a time where I watched the most hideous things take place with human beings. Um, but God, when you're reading the Bible and you get to a place where it says, but God, that's a big statement because God have his own statement. He have the conclusion of everything that needed to take place after that. He covered us in such a way that when we got to the United States, I only wanted to move on. I just simply wanted to go back into being a kid again. And then I got into a school in Providence, Rhode Island. This school was the worst school in the city. My father lived in a ghetto, and I saw like a beautiful haven because it was better than the streets of Liberia. It was better than killing fields and all of the kids with guns and everything else that was happening around me. It was better than going to bed hungry. So I saw it as an opportunity. But something happened as I was trying to assimilate back into society. Um, I will get outside of my house in this neighborhood to go and play basketball. And I only wanted to play at this basketball court for the first time, for a basketball, play with my friends in the playground. I noticed that when I was winning the game, the kids started to get upset. So one of the kids used
I think we have some issues. I think Brother Q is having some issues. Oh, there you go, up top. All right.
profanity on me.
Keep going, Q.
African booty. I never heard that before. So, I'm just, as we're winning the game, his friend take out a gun on me on the basketball court.
What?
Private. And it brought a lot of flashback to me about what happened in the war. I felt like I was in a new war zone. And I stopped playing at this playground. And I stopped going outside. I would stay in my room and look at the ghetto and just imagine about what was possible. And so that was one experience that just took me, that fast forward me to when I was writing the book. I started to think about, um, you know, everything that I went through in Liberia. It came back to me because I started to write this book when I got into my graduate studies at East Tennessee State University. I was doing graphic design and advertising. Um, and I'm going to tell you, my mother um, encouraged me to go back to Liberia. So I didn't tell you that part of the story, but um, let me go back to the killing field, and I'll carry you through the process because in order for me to tell you how I wrote the book, she had a lot to do with it.
Okay.
In that killing field, when she was taken to be executed, she was stripped naked, and a 14-year-old child held that gun about to execute my mother. And my mom started to pray. Her prayer to God was a promise that somehow, some way, if the bullet that will come from that gun, if it doesn't kill her, she promised to become a mother to the same type of child that was about to execute her. She realized that this child was an orphan. That obviously you kill the parents and then you put a gun in their hands, right? And I for one, I could tell you just from watching this, my mother in that killing field, and I'm going to show my book here, just so that you can kind of get the visual of this. God forbid, if my mother would have got shot, I wouldn't be here today. I would have been angry enough to pick up a gun because psychologically it would have disturbed everything about me. My father's not there. My mother's is gone. The people that would take care of me would be the rebels. They would have to train me on how to be a child soldier. So fast forward, she made that promise that if she lived, she would become a mother to children like the one I was about to execute her. Right before my mom got shot, my 5-year-old little sister runs to the field and grabs her. And she is crying and pleading with my mother and pleading with the rebels to see if they can let her go. The rebel leader turns to the child, tells her to shoot my mom and my sister. Now, think about what God is about to do. The first time this was about to happen, God slowed it down long enough for the child not to kill my mom with my sister running to the field. Now my sister's in this field, and the order is to kill both my sister and my mother.
Oh my
And as they're both standing there watching this happen, and as we're watching all of this, another gentleman whose wife is pregnant is brought to the field to be executed at the same time. He starts to fight all of the rebels, and he's thinking that they're going to kill his pregnant wife. So he is fighting all of the rebels. All of the attention goes to him, leaving the child alone to decide whether or not to kill my mom. And she tells my mother to pick up her clothes and run away. So we escaped that killing field by thin margin. Of course, I told you we got into the Ivory Coast, lived there as refugees. But in the United States, when we got back here, my mother, when the war was over in 2003, mom and dad decided to go back to fulfill that promise. They went back to Liberia right after the war was over and adopted 44 kids. Kids who were stranded during the war, kids who lost their parents. And that's how I started to walk my story. That's how I got back into understanding that the reason why I was given life, it was bigger than just being here in the United States. I was given a chance to live so that every experience, everything that I saw here could be developed in Liberia. That every experience that I got here, I received a point of reference that a lot of people in Liberia have never had. You know, I went to an excellent school. I got a full scholarship to go to SCAD. I got a full scholarship to go to some great schools. And with all of those experiences, I was being molded so that I can understand myself. I can understand the reason for why God saved my life. So when my mom encouraged me to go back to Liberia with her after the war was over, she was really encouraging me to go back and meet myself, to understand myself. Because when I got back and I saw the kids, I saw the people in Liberia, I saw myself in them, except I escaped. They didn't.
Yes.
I saw all the deplorable environment of what took place in the country, and I immediately understood my purpose for why I had to do this. So when I got back, before I could finish my master's, I started to put pen to paper about my experience in Liberia. I realized that I needed to tell my story. I needed to tell not just my story, but a story of a nation, where a lot of people will not have the chance to talk about, to be on the Geno Jones shows, to have the chance to travel the world and speak about what took place in this country. Um, I built the courage. God just blessed me to be able to start imagining what took place and go back to my childhood. I wanted to tell the story from the perspective of an 8-year-old boy who was caught in the middle of a civil war, and from an innocent perspective, and to also tell the stories of so many kids who did not have chance to have anything to do with the war, but they were caught in the middle of it. And it's not just my story; it's a story of a lot of war that's going on around the world right now.
Yeah.
There are innocent kids who are caught in the middle of those wars, and most times they don't have a voice. They have nothing to do with the war, but they are stuck in it. So the story really goes back to my me imagining what took place when I left the country, and the psychological effect of what took place to me. Writing this story was that God just kept reminding me that He was right there with me constantly throughout the story. I did not have to write this alone because I could not write this in secret. I had to go to Starbucks, to Applebee's, sit in noisy places to write this story because as I was narrating my story and writing it on paper, sometimes I got caught in the middle of a scene, and I feel like I'm right back in Liberia. But once I look in my environment and see people, that's when I started remember that I'm actually here in the United States. So the story psychologically really just had a lot of impact on me personally, because it helped me to just take it out of my system, so that I can allow other people to walk along my story and the journey of Liberia.
Well, I want to pivot to how you and brother Bannister, brother Al, met and then formed this relationship, and then personal and business relationship. But before we make the pivot, brother Al, I just want to ask one more question. Because you are a success story, and your story is a story of how a kid, an 8-year-old kid, grew through all the tragedy and all the trauma. You turned tragedy and trauma into a triumph. What do you want people to take away, Q, when they read the book? If there's a message, if there's one resonating theme, something you really want people to carry and hold in their spirit and in their soul and humanity, what is that?
Um, Thank you. That's a great question. Um, those who read the book, I want them to believe that your trauma does not define you.
I like that.
Your tragedy is not the end of the story. It's simply part of your journey to become the best version of yourself. I want people to believe that regardless of where you're at in life right now, regardless of what's happened in your environment, regardless of your history, regardless of how and where you grew up, um, it does not define who God has created you to be. Your personal witness, your personal story from wherever you're coming from is simply part of your journey to your greatness. And you have to find the opportunities that is in your trauma, because it's there. So long as God is giving you a chance to live, to be able to survive one day at a time, you have a chance to become. And your becoming is defined by the way you see life. It's not defined by your trauma and the way people see you. And so that's the one thing I would like for people to walk away from the story with. And just one more thing would be that God is real. He is real, because in the middle of the most tragic place, in the middle of the most tragic time at 8 years old, I witnessed how he orchestrated pathways for our success to leave that country. And I also witnessed for how he took us back to giving us the reason for why he's given us a chance to live. So um, you may be thinking that from wherever you're at in the world right now, that you are going through some traumatic situation. Just realize that in the middle of all of that, something good is going to happen out of it, because you're still alive. So that's what I would like to tell people.
Last time I saw you, the last time you spoke, we gave you a standing ovation. And I'm the only person in the studio, Q. But Brother Al, I had to give his brother a standing ovation. Wow, it's such a powerful, inspirational story on so many levels. And Q and I told you this, my wife and I told you this when we met you. You are so there's so much about you that's impressive. I mean, you're brilliant, brother, intelligent, but your humanity, it may be the most, the humanity, the compassion, empathy, and the wisdom may be the best thing about you. And that's saying a lot, because you're very brilliant and successful in terms of business. So now I want you to segue, but it makes sense because Brother Al Kendrick is that same kind of guy. He's got that same kind of energy. So I want you to pivot. Kendrick, you and Al discuss how you guys kind of joined together and formed, a union like Voltron, and the exciting things that you guys are working on. I think there's another book that I'm sure you all want to talk about. So you got as much time as you want, Q. Don't worry about it. I just talk, like I said, talk till your lips get tired. So let's talk about, Brother Al, let's talk about how you guys came together and the story of you all meeting and then forming this partnership.
So definitely, thank you. And Q, again, touching story, well, not even touching story, touching life. I'll be remiss not to give a big shout out to his lovely wife, Wendy, and his beautiful daughters, one who just graduated high school and getting ready to go to college. So I definitely want to thank them for allowing the Crate Group and all the entities from myself in America to have time with Q, because he spends a lot of time on airplanes and in Africa. But I do want to do two business things real quick. He mentioned Starbucks and Applebee's. So we don't have any promos from Starbucks. That's Vanguard Group, BlackRock, and State Street. So if they want to send a check someplace, they can send one to Geno Jones Show. And then with Applebee's,
I love you. I love you, brother.
So Applebee's, that's Apple South. I used to do corporate work for Apple South, so I'm gonna go ahead and send a set to the head guy and let him know that a book was written inside Applebee's. So hopefully we get some carbon credits for that.
I love it.
Now, but seriously, from uncertain beginnings to unstoppable future. So that's where we're at now. I want people to read this, feel it, and share it. The truth of the story will move you. So I ask you, don't keep it all bottled up to yourself. I need for everybody, because if you really be honest to yourself, this is what we're going through now.
Yes.
This is what's happening right now.
Yes, thank you.
We just had the Carmelo Anthony trial.
Yeah, thank you. I meant to mention that. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll go into more detail because, we had the kid here in South Carolina, Cyrus Carmack Belton, and you had a situation, this kid that was being bullied and defended himself. So I don't know why Texas, they got a stand your ground law, so I don't know why the stand your ground law didn't apply. I don't want to be distracted and interrupt, but I thank you for mentioning that, because I was going to mention that when I mentioned the story about Cyrus Carmack Belton here in South Carolina, but I wanted to bring you guys on. So thank you for even mentioning that, Brother Al.
So we had a war right now in America.
Yes.
So we can learn something from this book. But Q and I, and the Johnson brothers, we have a organization called KJB Enterprise LLC, and that holds some intellectual properties for a lot of things that's getting ready to be done within Liberia. The Carmue family, and I'm being very selective on what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. The ground itself was bloody and stained, but pretty soon we're going to have product coming out of those same grounds that's washed away from God's love to let the Liberian people stand on their own. If you have a country or people that can't feed themselves, they will die.
Yes.
And we have something happening right now. So now we could feed ourselves in Liberia. So now the reason it's emotional to me is because as young as I am, I got a birthday next week, Wednesday. So I'll be, 50 something. So, but
He don't
I'm
look a day over 35. So you.
So, I'm kind of the head of the family from the Spells family, and we were brought from Spells Plantation, and that's Colleton County, out our way in South Carolina. The plantation home is still standing. My great grandfather name was Allen Spell, and when emancipation came, Dorchester County and Colleton County was like right next to each other, but Colleton County didn't even get to know that, slavery was over to another 2 years. I wonder why.
What?
My grandfather, he drifted away on the river, the Eddystone River, for where my land is back to now. I have 15 acres to that same river right now.
Wow.
And a lot of my family has homestead on that river. Well, back then, the oppressors would go to the banks, and any blacks that's trying to drift away, they would shoot them in the river. It was a game to them. Well, my grandfather made it. And from our historical data, we came from the western banks of Sierra Leone. And if you look at the map, Sierra Leone and Liberia is right there. So my ancestral passage may have walked from Liberia.
Wow.
So I'm right there. So one of the things, I had Q go look for some land one time, and he went to check out some land, and I was right on the coast of Sierra Leone and Liberia. And he called me back. We FaceTime, and it took me about 5 minutes to get Q to even talk. He was just quiet, like, you're not gonna believe this, Bannister. You're not gonna believe this here. Well, anyway, he found the family who was originally settled from emancipation from Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow.
So those are distant cousins.
Wow.
We just left the capital with Congressman Clyburn about a month ago. And, for us in Charleston, it's the Gullah Geechee, Gullah.
Yes.
But in Liberia, it's Gullah. It's the same people.
Wow.
Same sound, different verse. So Q's looking at me in FaceTime and saying, he's thinking he's about to walk up to some Liberians and have the Liberian accent like how Q has. He said, Bannister, they sound like you. They sound like your person. And the lady said that she was from Charleston, South Carolina. So, so it's emotional for me to be able to go back or go there now and build something. And now I have my whole family into it. So all the way down to my grandkids, I got the 7, the 5, and 2 1-year-olds. This doesn't stop. What we're building, the legacy will go through to them. So they will still have ties into Liberia. So it's just a blessing. And I thank the Karmue family for opening up their doors and their hearts for me. And to anyone that's, hearing what he was saying, the concept with Mother Karmue, she lives today. One of the beautiful voices, just a beautiful spirit. So that's our niche. That's what we got going on. So in the next year and a half, Liberia, who's never really produced any products coming out of Liberia that they could take care of themselves, we have products on the shelves and ready for them to have an ecosystem.
Speaking of products, Brother Al, let me just jump in. Q, don't go anywhere, and you'll let me know, kind of give us the follow up, because I think it was about a little over a year ago, you came on, and you were telling us basically, I guess this is a prelude, that you had developed the relationship with some people back, on the motherland in Liberia, and there was this rice that was this very healthy, and that you were working on, being able with people could get this rice here in America. So I'll let you tell as much as you want to talk about that. Give us an update, and I know all that ties in with Q, but kind of give us an update on that conversation, because that was actually the last time you were on the show.
So, and a lot of this can't be said right now because of NDAs. Even that meeting that we had in Charleston, there was NDAs there. But I will say this here.
The mayor's asked about where was hers. I swear to God, I'm not lying. Literally 2 days ago, she had asked about. She's like, I didn't see. I hadn't got mine yet. So I don't have mine yet either.
I will take care of that. So, so what we can say is, respectfully, there is untapped, beautiful God-given lands in Liberia. There's areas in Liberia that man has never even touched.
Wow.
And from those lands, a lot of great production is coming. And we have a product in stages right now being tested that could change the world. That can change the world, especially certain diasporas medically. So that's the best I can say without saying too much and giving.
Understood.
And here it is. You heard it first on the Geno Jones Show.
And when you can say more, you'll come back and say more. So after Brother Q, go ahead and you jump in here.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I think Brother Bannister just kind of laid a foundation there. The only thing I want to say is this: when you are led to a place that have been classified as one of the poorest countries in the world, and if you are spirit-led, look under your feet. I love and be quiet for a little bit and watch what God is going to tell you, because he doesn't show everybody what's under your feet. And, the prophet did say, what do you have in your hands? What do you have in your hands? So over the last couple of years, after we adopted those 44 kids and they all grew up, got into college, that was the first example of what we had in our hands. And then the Lord told us to turn to the community and adopt 36 villages. It was those 36 villages that defined the next generation of what Liberia can become. Because we learn humanity by going down to the worst that was in the society, kids who were supposed to not become anything. And then we open our eyes to the rest of the society, because the kids grew up in a secure home, but we felt compelled to fix Liberia for them. And that was the motivation for adopting these 36 villages, to do something that we have been told we were not able to do. We were not supposed to be able to feed ourselves. We were not supposed to be able to build our own roads. We were not supposed to be able to find a motivation to become, and I just believe that every human being have it within them to become something. And those people that live in the bushes, in the villages, they've never been told that they're able. Wow. So we took on the challenge to doing that, to giving them a challenge to believe that they can find something within themselves that the world needs. And when they went looking, they found it. And I guarantee you the rest of the world is going to appreciate it, because people found themselves. We should be willing to let Black communities around America find themselves. They should be able to thrive, and because somebody is speaking life into them, that we can do it. um, most time we are told we're not able to be innovative in a place like this, but we're challenging the status quo and going beyond the challenges that we have and finding the best part of ourselves. And hopefully, as Bannister said, we're praying that it will become a showcase to encourage the rest of the world that we can do it. We're able.
Well, that's a perfect segue. So, Brother Al and Q, if I'm giving you all the last word, but if there's a call to action, if there's a request, if there's an ask for brothers and sisters here in America, uh, a call to action to where we can be of assist to our brothers and sisters in Liberia, or just in terms of just establishing, building this community, this global community and connection, because we are connected. So if there's a call to action for us in America, those that's watching, even the Americans that may be, in another country right now, what is that ask? And then Q, you are even more qualified. You can speak for your brothers and sisters back in your homeland. If there's any message that you would like to deliver to the brothers and sisters in the Black Americans, because the enemy and the colonizers have done a brilliant and insidious, genius in an evil, insidious way of teaching us to hate ourselves and each other. And they've brought that hate and that energy and that brainwashing, with the colonization, of countries in the motherland, and just exported that same energy of brainwashing and self-hate here. So, Brother Al, what's the call of action for us, brothers and sisters in America, to the brothers and sisters in Liberia, and Brother Q, you can close with, if there's a message, you represent the brothers and sisters back home in Liberia, any message that you want to get to us that you feel we need to hear, then you guys have the floor.
I'm gonna yield to Brother Q first, because then I think I gotta drop the mic statement for me. So I'm gonna yield to you.
I love it. Brother Q, you got the floor, man.
Thank you. First of all, what an opportunity it has been for you to open your show up to us and this section of the word. Liberia needs a lot of attention. My family, our friends who has two of us, we can't do it alone. We believe that this country is at a pivotal point of a turning point for not just Liberia, but for Africa. If Liberia gets it right, I believe the rest of West Africa is going to get it right. It's trying to come out. It really is. It's been 20 years of trying to become, and we need your help. We have a website. It's called Panta Pride, PANTAPRIDE, pantapride.org. You'll find out more information on our website.
Q, let me just pause you just for a sec, just because I like to, break things down to, I use a term one of my teachers taught me, the least common denominator. Or my grandfather, this legendary talk show host, ancestor, rest in power. My grandfather, Conway Jones, and this brother named Joe Madison, they put it where the ghost can get it, which means just, put it right here where everybody can get it. So tell us what the things, you said there are a lot of things that the country needs. Could you, what does that look like? Could you just, I know it's a lot, but if you could just give us a specific idea, or maybe one or two items at the top of the list, something tangible that we as Americans can do without, red tape and government and all that. What does that look, those needs look like?
Well, the first need, I'll tell you this straight off the back. First and most important need that every single person can do is pray. We need good vibes.
I like that.
We need good energy for Liberia. We just need your prayers. We need you to speak to God and tell him that Liberia is ready, and that my generation should not die and give what we took from the past generation to the next one. That's the first thing. Just pray for us. Give us some good vibes.
I love it.
The next thing is this. We need you to participate. We need you to put your hands up, no matter where you're at. You know, send us information that you want to be a part of what we're doing. You know, it's hard to sit here and tell you we need rice, we need this. We need you because we need people who are in the flesh that we can look at. They can look at us. We need humanity to come together now and say, let's do this for Liberia. And whatever this is, it can be defined through conversations. We need you to send us emails. You know, when you get to the website, send us a message and say, look, I heard this on the Geno Jones show that you need people. I am a person. I'm an architect. I'm a farmer. I'm a financier. I'm an investor. I am whatever it is that you need for Liberia. I can become that because I have expertise in these areas that you might need. You know, we need you to participate, to be a part of the conversation. Then I think after the conversation, you find yourself in Liberia that we are all one human family. So that's the one thing I can ask for, is that if you can send any information, send your information, say, introduce yourself, that you heard us and that this touched you. If you are a TV host anywhere watching this, you know, invite us to speak more about Liberia. We want to tell the world about this story, that there's a country that was colonized by free slaves from America, who ended up in Liberia, in Africa. So Liberia was formed by Black people from America. This country belongs to you. If we haven't invited you to come and be a part of this journey, you are invited. And we want to do that a little bit more formally. But wherever you sit now in the Word, whatever it is that you feel in your heart, we just want you to be a part of our movement.
And Q, tell them how they can be a part of it in terms of contacting you and say, listen, this is what, you know, I have to bring to the community. It's like, I think, you know, here we have a lot of times we'll have, you know, and Brother Al know, we'll have a little family dinner or whatever, and sometimes we'll have a family dinner where everybody brings a dish. So what like you said, whatever your gift and whatever your gift and your skill, whatever you've mastered, whatever that is, like you said, finance, business, construction, medicine, law, whatever it is, give us that website, how they can get in touch with you, introduce themselves, say, hey, listen, I'm Geno Jones. This is what I do. This is my gift. And how can we use my gift to help my brothers and sisters in Liberia? Give us the website and any other information in terms of there could be that contact to start to build the relationships and make those connections.
Sure, I can share my screen and show you.
Okay,
the
yeah,
website.
do that. Okay. Let me click. Yeah, I did see it right. I'm glad I saw that pop up. I didn't know what that was. Popped up. You know, we have to, because, you know, the enemy is busy, but we rebuke him on this show there. Okay, there we go. Thank you.
So yeah, so this is pontapride.org. So that's the link to the website, PANTA.
If you want to, okay, good deal. If you want to kind of show the menu, maybe where people can, you know, when they get there, navigate, show them where they could go to. I'm sure there's a drop box, a menu box, to where people, hey, if you want to contact us, you want to give us some information, maybe they can upload a PDF. Hey, here, this is my resume. This is what I can do.
Yes. So let me share that screen too as well.
Okay. Ah, yes, I love it. Wow, you got it. I love it. You got a video for people to watch.
All right.
Hey, listen, I got an idea. Go back, go down, go back. All right, stop right there. How long is the video?
It's about 2 minutes.
When people think about Africa,
Yeah, good. Play it. Let it play. I want people to see this. This is important. Let them see that.
many focus on poverty, exploitation, and corruption. They often think of images of starving children and people begging for handouts. This is not the Africa you will see in the Panta district in Liberia, West Africa. Panta is a very unique and a different place, a beautiful place of potential and innovation. In Panta, we see every crisis as an opportunity. We use local resources and labor to address the needs in the community. We use challenges as motivation to create progress. During COVID-19, because of massive food shortages, we built a rice farm by hand and a rice production and refinery system to feed ourselves. We did this without government assistance. We are innovators and problem solvers. After the COVID crisis, we established a company to package and extend access of clean spring water to over 32 villages throughout the town. We believe in a society with zero tolerance for corruption. We are committed to a code of conduct based on integrity and ethics, and a culture of respect and love for one another. We love to play, and we are lifelong learners. We believe in community, unity, and cooperation for the common good of all of our citizens and visitors in Panta. And most importantly, we are dreamers. We are dreaming about building one road that will become the heartbeat of Panta. One road that will become the backbone of development, creating a self-sufficient enterprise zone, which is ideal for growth in agriculture and other industries. This is the road to a prosperous future, connected to a bridge that will connect Liberia's capital, Monrovia, to Guinea, exponentially expanding local and international trade. A road that will put an end to an abominable high infant mortality rate, because we cannot transport people to hospitals during the rainy seasons. One road that represents a monument for pride among the Panta people. Finally, we are looking for a helping hand in order for us to attain self-reliance, so that we will never again need to ask for charity. Will you join us with a helping hand? Together, we can shape a prosperous future for Panta and its people. Thank you so much.
Q, thank you for sharing that, man. Thank you for sharing that. I'm just stepping off camera. That is, oh wow, that's so powerful. I'm so glad that I'd asked you to go to your page, and I'm so glad that you shared that. That video says it all. And Al, I'm gonna throw it to you so you can drop the mic. But I just want to piggyback on something you said probably about a half hour ago. It's a beautiful country. Oh my God. The land is beautiful, and just to see you all building your roads and how you were self-sufficient, that's just inspiration right there. So thank you, Q. For I think it was so important. I mean, your story is powerful, but you know the visual medium is powerful, and people, that video is like that's our family. We're like cousins, kinfolk. This is, no strangers. We literally in. Trace DNA, like Brother Al said, we are family. So it was very inspirational for me to see that. So just thank you for sharing that. Brother Al, I'm going to let you drop the mic there, man.
So again, thank you for the platform. Mommy in Chicago, love you. Always think about you. Here's our truth. The people from the Caucasus Mountains they've integrated all forms of people. Mm-hmm. So we have to be just honest about things. Irish, the Jew, the Italian, all those different
Germany, so we go on
African.
France, Portugal, Spain.
So all that becomes now white. They did that for a reason, for numbers. So we all come from Kemet. We all come from the motherland itself. That's the origination of everything.
Say that, Al.
So-
Come on. You've been
so-
around me too long. It's funny. Let me just say, pause you. I got to say this. It's amazing how God and the Spirit works, Q. Because I was going to start off the beginning talking about that. For those understand that Europeans who call themselves white, first of all, whiteness is made up. Is a made up con game. Social scientists calls it a construct. There's nothing in the human genome. There's no DNA test that will tell you what percentage of white you are. And the truth is, documented scientists, anthropologists have proven that the original human was found on the land that we now know as Africa. So man, woman, and man, the original, be in your feelings ain't fact, come from the region that's African. So the thing that'll blow your mind, if you trace your DNA, if you're from Italy or Germany or Ireland or the United Kingdom or Scotland or Spain or Portugal, if you really trace your lineage, if you trace that DNA far enough, it would eventually stop somewhere in Africa. So I'm sorry, you just hit that tripwire. I didn't mean to jump in. I didn't mean to jump in on here, but you know how brother is. You hit that tripwire. So just finish making that point, because that is so important. Yes.
So, men lie, women lie. The numbers of the DNA is not gonna lie. So there is no such thing as Black American, African American, is Black people, and society has gotten us to fight against each other. So just imagine what can happen if we all just work together.
And
just
realize
imagine.
we were all kind of distant cousins by
100%.
DNA.
So that's what I need people to do on my standpoint. Just go and educate yourself. Let's read those books. Let's do some history. Let's have the conversation. And for everything else that Q has divulged today, read it, feel it, and share it. We're relaunching this book, Witness. You're the first stop that we're doing it. We want to thank you for this platform. And the goal is to let every home have a copy of this book inside their home, because there's so many life stories that we can build. And if we do it the right way, we should never have to do it again.
All right, Q, hold the book up, and in closing, let everybody know where can they order the book online. If there are any brick and mortar stores here in America that's carrying the book, where they can go and purchase it. I'm sure you've probably partnered up with some Black bookstores. If they're Black bookstore owners, reach out to them, give them the website. I'm sure you probably, I don't know if you've set up an official tour here in America, but there are a lot of great Black-owned bookstores. And then you got the non-Black-owned bookstores, because once again, like I said, I mean, woman, and mankind, as we know, came from the continent we call Africa. So that's blowing folks' mind, but that's just a fact. But let everybody know where they can purchase the book, either online or in person. And give us the website again, that incredible video to where we here in America, if you are part of the human race and you want to be part of the solution, how people can reach out to you, contact you, and be willing to partner up and bring whatever gift and skills that any gifts that God has blessed them with, and any skills that they have mastered and gifts that they have mastered, how they can do that to contribute to the liberation. Because if you all are free, that's going to help us. If I'm paraphrasing, what did Dr. King? If if one person is not free, then none of us are not free.
Right.
So give
Well,
us that
thank you.
information.
Thank you, Geno. We are actually in the process of relaunching the book. So, and when the time comes to do a relaunch, we want to have the opportunity to come back on the show and actually officially point people to where to get it. That we had a soft launch of the book a few years ago, and then we went to work. So to be honest, we're about to relaunch. So it's
Okay.
currently the book is only sitting on Amazon right now.
Okay.
That's where you can get it. But we will be doing a relaunch where we'll have a lot more organized places that you can get the book. But in case you want a copy of the book, you can email us at the website. I'm going to put it up here and share the screen real quick. Just give me a
Please.
chance.
Absolutely. Hey, man, listen, this is your home, man. You got a permanent home on this platform. So anytime you need to come on, Brother Al knows that. He literally, he called me last week, and I was like, say less. Just look, can y'all come on Wednesday? Then you on. Boom.
Awesome.
While he's picking that up, letting you know, Sharika Myers, the Little Herbie. So Little Herbie is in Africa, guys. And Little Herbie's going to be doing a rendition, like a cartoon children's book, so that way we can touch all parts of the family. So it's beautiful.
And Al, real quick for those, because you know we got viewers watching all over the country, all over the world, and people can. It's a children's book, so just give us the short story about Sharika Myers. She is, community activist, an author doing great work. But the Little Herbie, you can just kind of tell everybody the origin of that story, and you know who Little Herbie is, what he represents, and what he's all about.
Correct. So Sharika Myers is a collaborator of mine, local community activist, and she does some marketing for the Crate Group by way of drafting into Panther Pride now. So Little Herbie is a doll. She had a stuttering problem when she was coming up, and her grandson was born, and he had a stuttering problem. His name is Herbie. So what she did to combat hers and her grandson's, they made this doll that has interactive capabilities. And then she came to do books with it. So now they're all in the public schools. She just did one for the first Black mayor of North Charleston that's selling off the shelves right now. And she's going to do a kind of the same kind of story for Q. So that way, even though his book is witnesses more geared towards grown adult, high school literature, we want to make sure this book is being able to be told and read within the children also.
I love it. Absolutely.
So, thank her for bridging that gap with us to make this happen.
All right, Q, give us that information you want to share with us. There we go. All right, everybody.
So this is the easiest way to contact us. And also, if you want a signed copy of the book, if you contact us here, we'll tell you how to get it from here too as well. So in the meantime, this is our direct line to get to us in terms of information moving forward.
All right, everybody, make sure you get that and go to that website and reach out to Brother Q and the brothers and sisters. Pantherpride.org. Pantherpride.org. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Q. Brother Q Carmue. I got it right?
Yes, sir. Kwanu Kwane Karmue. You got to try to say it.
I like Carmue. I love it. There you go. and Brother Kendrick, Al Bannister with the Crate Group and so much more. Listen, this has been wonderful, man. Thank you guys so much. Everybody watching, copy this link. Shout out to everybody that was been in the chat room. Your story is so compelling, but you had a lot of people watching and just connecting with everything you said. Somebody's watching from Providence, Rhode Island. Somebody up in Minnesota. So we just want to thank everybody. So reach out to pantherpride.org and thecrategroup.org, right? Kendrick, they can check on thecrategroup.org. And we'll keep everybody updated. Go on to Amazon. I ain't trying to get them colonizers any money because, Jeff Bezos, with his trick ass, he got enough money, but go on and order that book. All right, we sell it out. We'll buy the inventory, then we ain't got to be bothered with them clowns, or deal with them on a different level. So y'all go to Amazon and order that book and clean out that inventory. Thank you, Q, for sharing your story, and thank you for sharing your story personally and sharing the story of your country and our brothers and sisters in Liberia by way of that video. That was so powerful to see that. And Brother Bannister, man, I love you, brother. You know that, man. Thank you. And I'll see you, brother, soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that was wonderful. I just really powerful. Shout out to Brother Q. He is got the chance to meet him a couple months ago, and he shared his story even in more detail. So powerful. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live. So we'll see you Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Leave your comments in the comments section below. Do that right now. Please leave your comments in the comments section below. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Allie Jones, she is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show. You can check her in her Lexi Jones collection, LX.NCL_. LX.NCL_. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check him out on Instagram, IG, Kel, be cutting up, KELBECUTTINUP. Justice for Cyrus, Carmack, Belton, and justice for Karmello Anthony down there in Texas, who was just given 35 years, charged with murder for defending himself against a bully. And that's no level of insensitivity. Yes, a young man died. We don't wish that on anybody. But a young man was defending himself, Karmello Anthony, and defending himself, another young man died. It's tragic, full stop. But two wrongs don't make a right. And 35 years, when a young man was defending himself, being charged with murder, first time, never been charged with anything else, that's not justice either. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.